Welcome back to another episode of Find the Line, presented by Against the Grain Design and Print, where we dive into real stories with real racers, the successes, the hardships, and everything in between, with your co-hosts Logan Cipala and Joe Falde. Produced by Luke Cipala, it all starts right here, right now, on Find the Line.
Yeah, and we can do anything. Mama said it's true, and I put that on everything. Mama told me one day I'ma blow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll get you through this so-called life they call living, but I call it strange, and I bet I'll do it.
Woo! Oh man, welcome back to Find the Line, my twist throttle brothers and sisters. Oh, this week, good stuff. We're going in the future. We are going to reach out. We're going to get on our hoverboards. We're going to have our, instant meal and a pill, and we're going to talk future tonight. We are lucky enough to have one of the world's greatest Hillclimb maniacs with us that has way too much time on his hands, and due to injury, he's put pen to paper, and he's got some really cool ideas about how he thinks this sport could even be better. And we kind of want to talk about some of his ideas, and we're like, we need somebody on here to bounce some of this good stuff off of. And who else? Eagle Ridge Motorcycles' own, the Brick Mine's own, the Madman, the number 390 Jelinek is coming on tonight. And boy, we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna these things tonight where we're talking about their ideas. We're always trying to think of things that will grow the sport, that will make the sport we love so much better, and understand that they're just ideas, So we want what your feedback is. Message us, let us know. We want ideas. We want to get all these good ideas together and push it through the roof. So tonight it's the good old boys. It's Luke, Logan, Jay, and myself. And Jay, welcome. How's it going in North Dakota tonight? We're muted, Jay.
Rookie.
He's censored himself right away, boys. We're in trouble.
I saw those other guys had their mics muted during the intro, and then I muted mine. Of course, I forgot to take it off. So going good in North Dakota. Just got off the bike about less than half an hour ago. Had to make you guys wait a little bit to start the podcast, but wanted to be dedicated and make sure I got my seat time in. So
always a valid excuse.
A little bit with the rib injury this year, so I got to make up for lost time for sure.
I can respect starting late due to riding. We'll let it slide.
Yeah, for sure. I figured you understand. So,
quick before we get into it, how does a brother get one of those off-graphic bar pads? Them things are sick.
Honestly, it's just a decal, basically custom cut to the shape of the bar pad. So, you could have Luke make it for you too. It's pretty easy. So,
if I contacted Off Graphic, could I get one? Is that possible?
It's possible. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Okay. All right. That, if I contact Off Graphic, it kind of benefits ATG all in the same. So I like that. I can help two brothers out at once. This is good.
For sure.
Oh, man. Well, we have a bunch of talk about, and Logan has wrote down, he's got a PDF that we've kind of read through. It's a little too much for us to put out there, but the basis of it is he's kind of drawn up an idea for the American Hillclimb National Championship Series, and he's got some really good points. And I was just thinking maybe the best thing, Logan, to do to start off is, why don't you just kind of give us some, your motivation for putting some of this down, and then kind of the cliff notes of what you got going with your ideas here. And then Jay and Luke and we've kind of read up, and I think we'll just go back and after you've kind of said everything, we'll go back and we'll talk about where we think it could be good or bad in areas and go from there. Does that sound good?
Well, I mean, I wrote it, so it's not going to be bad anywhere. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No more painkillers. Luke, tell Morgan, no more painkillers for Logan. All right.
Yeah. Like you said, unfortunately, I've had a little bit too much time on my hands, and I've been fortunate enough or dumb enough to race more and attend more hill climbs than probably anybody has in the last 10 years. I'd be willing to bet at least. I don't know of anybody doing more. So I've got a pretty good wide view and pretty unbiased opinion on how stuff is ran, should be ran, could be ran, and seen a lot of stuff through other series too, and what the capabilities are, but also what a sport needs in order to offer something out to the public. So
Right.
kind of came up, brainstormed some ideas, put some pen and paper, as you said, and wrote down a Word document, and that was terribly confusing. So I tried to break it down into a little bit of a quote unquote presentation, and here we are. We want to definitely in the future, get more and more people from other series, other racers involved to take a look at it. But another guy that we invited on tonight had some podcast going on. I don't know if it was like dirt and gas or dirty gas or something. I don't know, something like that. So he wasn't able to join tonight, but maybe next time.
Next time. Now, he can listen up and get caught up. We'll have him on for the round 2 of this.
Yeah. So anyways, before we get too far into it, basically just a preview is how can we make one national hill climb championship? Because frankly, we haven't yet. We merged 2 series under one sanctioning body with 2 completely separate rule books and just made a one weekend or one day shootout to call whoever wins that the best of the best, which is definitely a step in the right direction, but far from being a national championship in my opinion. So this is going to kind of refer to an actual national championship series and how we can actually get to that and make it somewhat possible for people who don't actually make a living doing this stuff, which is everybody.
And involve more promoters, right?
Yeah. Doing that without hurting any current promoters, without really hurting any racers too badly, and hopefully bringing a lot of legitimacy to the sport. Because right now the biggest issue is that professionalism and the rider talent is growing, but we don't have a single direction to go anywhere here. There's 4 different series. Any casual fan that wants to get into it is like, wait, you've got this series, that series, this class, a class here, a class out there. What's this twin stuff? What's a stock 450 doing on the hill? All this. And every series has different rules, different points accumulation, different purse structures. And even half the hill climbers are racing right now don't have any idea what those are. So really we need to figure out a way to decrease the travel costs, increase or maintain purse payouts, and simplify a rule book so that everyone's following the same stuff and doing the same thing, and basically narrow that down into a single premier championship without hurting, obviously, our extremely valuable promoters. Because the last thing we want to do is axe any promoters when we don't have enough the way it sits,
Right. Yes.
It's actually pretty crazy because I drew out with my terrible PowerPoint skills a schedule for what a 2025 season would have looked like for me going point to point. So not going back home in between races, just from the first race to the second race, the third race, fourth, back and forth. And by the time I got 3/4 of the way through the season, it looked like somebody threw a plate of spaghetti on my paper. And I'm like, this is kind of good, kind of bad, because you can't tell which way anything's going, but that also helps the point.
Right.
If we go into very clear.
Yeah.
So a proposed, and this is kind of assuming like hitting 90% of the races, because it's just not possible to hit all of them. So it's something like that. The proposed schedule for a national championship basically takes all of the premier races, premier events, premier promoters, and best locations, and combines them into one singular championship, obviously. So on the proposed one that I just built based off 90% of the races this year, we start out in Carnegie, Washington, and then go to Washington, Big Sky Challenge, Columbus Nitro Nationals, Lloyd's, Brick Mine, Bay City, Red Wing, Muskegon, Kansas, White Rose, Freemansburg, and Devil's Staircase. So obviously, if you're paying any sort of that, just in the quick math, point-to-point schedule for all of those same races, it eliminates like 11,000 miles of driving between the two.
Wow.
But obviously there's questions of we're eliminating races, eliminating events from in this proposed schedule from what is actually on the schedule, which is true. But we're not eliminating them from all the schedules. You're just eliminating them from the Hillclimb National Championship. Right. So all of those singular events that aren't on the National Championship Series can still exist. which is also quite confusing. But you basically take these events who don't have the purse, don't have the crowd, don't have the club or the infrastructure to run a national event. They get to continue doing what they're doing under the same sanctioning body, but as a quote unquote semi-pro regional event. So they can do this without really having any harm to their full series. People who don't want to travel for the national championship points can go and do that. The only, obviously, some type of caveat they would have to have is they can't double schedule a national race, because that would just kind of be shooting yourself in the foot for promoters and racers, realistically.
Yep.
You still have under this proposed plan, you'd still have an option to link all of the exhibition races together, or these quote unquote semi-pro regional events under one series, but it would just be regional instead. And you can take, one national championship race and 3 regional ones and make your own quote unquote regional series if you wanted. So kind of what we're doing now. In a way, it's to dumb it down. Basically, any national championship that we currently have right now gets dropped to be a regional championship. And then you take those premier events from all the regional championships and level those up. So you kind of have 2 different levels of what we want to do, or what is going to happen.
Kind of like, like with American Hillclimb West, there's Washington, Idaho, and Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a American Hillclimb West Championship. Now that would be that series, those races, if they continue to go on, would be the regional event. But like those hills might all just be in part of the American Hillclimb National Championship Series. But you could have your own regional events there that just, you wouldn't be getting a national championship from just those 3 hills, right?
Right. So you do something like American Hillclimb West realistically could still continue the way it's named, the way it's set up, and have the exact same schedule that it does now, except those 2 races are just going to be regional ones. So if you're chasing a national championship, you're probably not going to be at those regional ones unless they're close to you or whatever, or you're not chasing the national. Right. So you still have the opportunity. All the promoters don't lose promotion of an event. They don't get double scheduled on a national race. And any racers who want to race the same series that they are now still get to do that under the same basic sanctioning body and rule book. So it's, really it's a win-win for everybody. It's just that, say the top few guys decide they want to skip a regional event to try to hit one of the national events later on in the season.
Right. I like it. And the hills that you have laid out, like the 13 hills, you're not saying that's in, locked in. That's just, this is a dream, right? Like this is what you'd like,
13 is obviously way too many.
Right.
An ideal number, I think, is 8 to 10 on the high end and 6 to 8 on the low end. Somewhere in there is probably what is realistic for people. I think if you think you can do 7 or 8 weekends between April and October, that's a pretty realistic number.
Right.
That part is, I will say, is hard for me because I'm biased, and being at the top, obviously, it makes it a lot easier to travel money-wise and cost-wise, and motivation-wise. If you're doing well, it's pretty easy to justify spending that kind of time and travel doing it. So that's the part where I definitely will lack clarity on how big a schedule should be. I think the days of 15 to 20 are long gone.
Right. I'm just thinking out loud here, but some of the motivation is like that I see like for this is any chance I can have to get somebody like John Flying Kester to be in Carnegie would be freaking epic, right?
Yes.
And any chance that I'd have of seeing Petey Krunich in Freemansburg, I'm freaking pumped, right? Right now, that is 1%, right? Like it's so hard to get those guys to do that. We got to try to figure out a way to make this easier and more beneficial for talents like that and future talents that are on different coasts to make this more feasible, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's a little bit of that. And then it's, you're just leveling up in every direction that you can. You're getting Petey Krunich and John Kester on the same hill 6 to 8 times a year versus maybe the one that we have now. And you're getting the crowd people to see every single run might be a new fast time, and they get to hear everyone freak out and lose their minds. And on top of it, social media, race coverage, even the racers media themselves looks way better when you start having this kind of depth. Nobody wants to watch a race where they know exactly who's going to win before they even show up because of lack of depth or scheduling conflicts, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Jay, as a promoter, like at Brickmine, like when there is a lot of top level talent there, can you guys just feel that the different status of the race?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's been years where there's been not as many as other years, and it just loses that little bit of spark. Doesn't seem to have the same meaning to it if you win type thing. It's like still be proud, but like you didn't beat this guy that were normally there or should be there type thing, for sure.
And then like with your event, and I'm just as much as blame as anybody, but like last year when there was a toss-out round in the MS. I didn't make it or whatever, but it was just for me. But I felt so bad because there was some top guys that didn't make it because that was that farthest drive for them. And that had to hurt, didn't it? Like you want those guys there as a promoter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it sucked. It was unfortunate, but I guess we didn't know. We knew one of the rounds probably was going to end up taking the hit, and we ended up being the one doing it. But at the end of the day, I don't think having that drop round was a terrible thing at the end of the day, just for the series in general and the riders and stuff. So if we can sacrifice a little bit and it helps bring more people together at the end of the day, I guess I'm fine with it. So yeah, I don't regret doing that or anything, but I do think for sure to keep all the events consistent and have all the talent there. I mean, the drop rounds definitely don't help that.
But like Logan, you're having the mixture and having this nationwide series where riders from all over the country compete. I think last year to the American Hillclimb National Championship at Devils, when I watched the East Coast guys ride the West Coast style hill on their long ass nitro bikes and make it work, that was fucking epic, right?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like that's entertainment. And that's the one thing that we can never forget in the sport is it's extremely entertaining. Like, Hard Enduro has, you're going to spend $10 million in parts and we can market the fuck out of that. We have a goddamn spectacle. Pull your chair up, start drinking beer and eating hot dogs and just go nuts. That's what the sport has. It's a singular spot. When you go to a motocross, you might miss somebody go ape shit in the whoops because you're over on the other side. And Hillclimb, it's all in front of you. It's a great form of entertainment, and we can market the hell out of that. But we got to have the top level guys there putting a show on.
Yeah, I mean, even look, I was just on Instagram before we started this, and that reel that Jay posted of Josh Mueller's bike starting up got 500,000 views. How many people watching that are in California and would love an opportunity to see Josh out there to race that, or Washington and see him hold that thing wide open for 1,700 feet in the powdery dirt.
Oh my God.
But they'll never ever get to, even though we're racing for a national championship, or at least, they might get to next year, but we'll,
I got you.
We'll forget about that for right now.
Right.
But
I kind of cut you off. Did you get through most of your cliff notes of the series?
Got just a little bit more here.
Yep.
There's 2 more raging questions that we haven't covered: the race format and the purse structure. Yeah. So the race format is actually really simple. We just basically copycat what Motoclimb Super Series and the American Hillclimb National Championship has done with 450 X Climb and Open. In my eyes, 450 and Open would be the main points, and then X Climb points would be devalued because I just don't think it's fair to a racer to have high value of points on X Climb, because just anything can go wrong. There's so many weird things in it. So, maybe you make that 3, 2, 1 bonus points or 5 bonus points to win, and 1 bonus point for 4th or 5th or whatever you do. or just make more weight on 450 and open, so that those are what the real players should be. Because that's what, I mean, everyone wants to come, maybe you double weight open and
Yes.
single weight
Open only.
450 and half weight verticross.
Yeah.
Or something. You know, the possibilities there are endless, but that format is the ideal format for a professional hill climb to thrive, because a 700 class now is essentially either an open bike or a 450 going up the same hill as all the other bikes. So it's just duplication. Yeah. But in the same sentence, each event in this format would still have the opportunity to race other classes if they so desire at an event. You know, sometimes with Motoclimb Super Series races, the pro mod has just been axed because the purse is good. You know, like at Pogues Hole, we didn't do it, or Big Hill Jam, I think one year we didn't do it. Out east, if we're still getting 25, 30 entries, then yeah, you go ahead and run twins class to help get some money back for the promoters, if it's depending on the purse payout, or for the racers, you know, depending. It's like there's really not necessary to completely change a format. You would just maybe change how you operate the day. Because if you're going to do something like this and make one event the focal point of the series or a championship, then you have to completely eliminate the other classes from running or from getting the attention of the day. You know, you start twins class, say you're on an AMA East race and you follow through with this. Twins class starts at 9 a.m., bang, bang, you're done with it by 10:15. And then noon, when the spectators all come in, they're ready to see the main show, the points show, the championship. And that's when you start talking about that. And then you have extra time to focus on podiums, focus on interviews in the booth, and the good racing that those championship classes will bring.
Right.
And then even with the format, safety generated rules, you know, to kind of keep these the Rockwell guys included here. Let the promoter decide what tire you want to run, and the racers have to bring their own bikes. If the 450 class at Brickmine says knobby only, you get to run a knobby. If BMC has a premier event, you just say, you know what, sorry, you don't get medal here. That's right. How our club stays alive and keeps all the racers and workers safe. That's the way it is. It's like there's no reason at this day and age that a rule like that is so hard to follow that we have to split up or not make a little bit of change. And that's kind of unfortunately the basis of all this. Is it's good and bad, but the basis of this entire format that I'm proposing is that every series has to compromise a little bit in one way or another. Now the next one, and the big one, the final one, the purse.
Yes.
Right now, it's actually pretty unbelievable, but every series follows almost an identical purse from each other. They just don't realize it.
And that's what I was going to say. You probably know more than anybody.
Yes.
How is the purse generated at Motoclimb Super Series?
Yep. So Motoclimb Super Series is just a guaranteed set purse for event, which is maxed out at the AMA Ohio rulebook. It's $10,000 per event, but that $10,000 is between X-Climb and Open right now.
Okay.
AMA East is a $7,500 minimum, I believe, plus spectator overage. So after you get a certain amount of spectators through the gate, a certain percentage of each spectator's $25 or $20 that they paid goes into paying the purse, which works great for the East Coast venues because they have great showings, and then it pays a ton of money back to us. But the crazy thing is when you go and win at a race like White Rose or Freemansburg, on average in open class, when you win that, you're really not winning a whole lot different than what a Motoclimb Super Series open win makes for the day. So they're very similar. And then American Hillclimb West and Rockwell is either 90% or 100% rider entry payback. And that's currently what American Hillclimb West is doing. So there's no reason that you can't just make a rule that states 100% rider entry payback or a $7,500 minimum plus spectator overage, whichever one is greater.
But I think that's a little confusing for people too, is on American Hillclimb West, we're paying $100 a class, and that's going to the purse, right?
Yep.
On the East, we're paying $100 a class, and where is that money going?
That one goes to AMA as far as I'm aware, but I don't know why the West Coast doesn't have to go to AMA and the East Coast
and I don't
does,
either.
But
it's weird as hell, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And the East, they're so fortunate on their huge crowds. And I like how they have it where there's a minimum purse. And if they do good, we do good. I love that aspect of that. But it's a little cloudy as to how everything pans out, right? Rockwell, I know they've always been so adamant that there's not $1 that we put in that doesn't come back. Yeah. Because I believe the purses for the events, it's like, is it all the money or 90%? But then your Rockwell fee, I think that's where they get the bonus money from. So you even
I believe the Rockwell fee is year end. And then I think I, for some reason, thought that the purse was 90% entry payback, but it could be 100% now. I'm not exactly sure.
I've been told by many people that they don't take $1 from the riders, and it could just be that that's what they're buying flag was with and whatever else. But I just know from riding in it, they're very generous. Rockwell, they take care of their riders. It's good, but they also they just had the Great American. They had 130 450s or some shit.
So the 450 class was a $13,000 purse.
Whoo! Wow.
Just for the 450 class.
Just for the 450 class.
Like that.
I think it took like 7 hours or some shit to run it.
Yeah.
It was insane. Were you there, Jay? The Great American?
No, I wasn't. Haven't been there for a few years. Need to get back there for sure. But
me too. Dang it.
That's pretty crazy. That's a lot of rides.
Yeah, there's a lot of rides. Imagine. But I mean, it's also pretty freaking cool that you could go and win probably $2,000 on a 450 that weekend. It's like, that's hard to beat.
Yeah, no doubt. And they're going to pay down to 25th place or something, you know?
Exactly. And there's no reason that as long as you're doing it within reason, that each venue can't determine their own payback. If you're if you're doing the 100% rider entry, if you're following rider entry payback, who cares if more money goes to the 450 because a promoter wants it to, and who cares if more money goes to the open if a promoter wants it to? It's just, it is what it's what the promoter thinks is best for their show and their riders and their events. And that's ultimately what the best is. That was part of the reason that Bay City hasn't gone back to American Hillclimb East, is we felt like we weren't able, in a way, not bad. Our event went great, but we felt like in certain ways we weren't able to make decisions that benefited our crowd and our event to make it run as good as it could. In hindsight, it ran as good as it could the way it did, but still.
Right. And the other thing that sucks about Bay City and American Hillclimb East is that you're never going to get 4,000 spectators.
No.
It's impossible. They can't fit. You're like 1,500 spectators and you're damn near turning people away. It's like you're barely going to make the overage, you know?
Exactly. And that's what's really hard. You can't sign up all of these clubs to the AMA Florida payback structure, especially anything west of the Mississippi, outside of like Columbus and maybe Big Nasty back in the day. They aren't making money based on the overage structure that the East Coast has. It's just, you can't convince me that any promoter is going to be able to make money on an event with that structure right now.
Right.
Not to say that they can't get there, but
yes, exactly.
There hasn't been an event for a long time that has gotten there. And like Columbus is dwindling from what it used to be when I first started going there. And I think that's just part of the world nowadays, but that's all the yapping I've got to do for now. So Jay can jump in and tell me how dumb I am and everything that's wrong, and I'll start typing notes.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, it's an interesting concept to think about for sure. When I first flipped through it earlier today, it took me a little bit to kind of make sense of it and stuff too. So I'm sure the people at home listening, it'll take them a little bit too, especially not being able to see it all on paper and stuff. But
well, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do here now, is any questions that a normal person has is the same questions that you had and noted down, and we can talk them through it before everyone starts jumping off the ledge.
Go ahead, Joel.
I got some base points that I think I want to kind of highlight, because a lot of times I think I'm right, but I'm way off. But is one big goal is to have the national champion not just be good one time for 7 seconds and has to be really good for many events. Is that kind of a big factor to this? Yeah.
I mean, you flipped the script on me last year. It was already a little bit of a hot topic that I got to race in Ohio in the first place. Right. And then I did 2 races to get qualified there throughout the year, and then all of a sudden you get to show up to Ohio and have a good day and claim that you're the national champion. I don't like that idea. I mean, obviously it's a lot of rides back to back to back in one hill, but the hill was also designed, not to say there was any bias in it or not, but it was designed by a team owner of the guy, or the team of the guy that was the most competitive person there for the weekend. You know, it's like, it's a lot cooler to have to see people adapt their equipment and do different races, different events, different hills, different formats throughout the entire year, and put together 40 rides or 30 rides versus 4.
And I think nobody's going to disagree. Everybody thinks that this would be a way better solution to have a series that spans the country. And there's all kinds of problems. We understand that. This is something we want to work towards, and we're looking for small solutions that get us towards there, right? That's what we're trying to. We understand this isn't going to happen tomorrow, and it can't. But we got to think about the big picture and then start making small decisions to solve a big problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jay, what do you think? Do you like just one event for a national championship, or do you like doing the whole series?
Yeah, for sure. If it's a national championship, like to me, definitely it's got to be more than one event. Like you guys are saying, I agree with that 100%. The biggest thing I think I worry about, like with this idea, is if every series can kind of remain the same and be regional, this adds just like another layer on top of that and potentially makes it even more confusing than it already is. Obviously it'll take some time and maybe that gets better, but like that's one thing I thought of right away. And then, I mean, it's good on paper, but how many riders are legitimately gonna go and make it to all the races is the other thing. So,
that's the elephant in the room.
And I think a big portion, so my goal with it here is that right now every series posts and claims and brags that they're the best, they're the biggest, they're the only professional series, where we get in on this sanctioning agreement and you basically admit that you're part of a national championship and any of the regional ones are just like not low caliber, but kind of low prestige, smaller events that aren't realistically tied to anything that is extremely important. But again, if everyone only travels to the one series that they want to race, then you've effectively changed nothing and added an extra layer and created 5 series out of 4, which is definitely not ideal.
Well, I think too, like, just kind of talking around it, but, like in soccer, they have like relegation where if a team isn't as competitive, they don't get to play in the Premier Series, right? Well, you have people like the Eagle Ridge Motorcycle Club and the Dayton Motorcycle Club and the Washington Nitro Nationals that are freaking going ape shit on marketing, pushing the sport, doing all kinds of stuff. A series like this, when they're coming to that town, it highlights that. Like you're being rewarded for that effort by this big, huge series coming into your town. Another event where maybe it's fun, they have a good time, they're a good event, but they don't, like someplace that we want to go back, but like the potato race, we know what's capable. They're just not there yet. They need more organization and more of a group. That all the bones are there. We know there's already been 18,000 spectators there and had marquee events. It's just, they're not quite there yet. They can have that regional series and still start banking those funds and getting that base there to push forward to be part of the national series and have that big spot. And having a national series like this, that's when it would be your just media mecca, right? Of getting the best of the best out to everybody and getting the fans what they really want.
Yep.
And I mean, I would say too, like talking about adding a layer in another championship. Also at the same time, this would essentially be doing what Motoclimb has kind of been trying to do from the beginning and bringing people together for a national series. And right now, I think it's probably the least regional series out of all the professional series. So, I mean, if something like this were to happen at that point, I'm a huge believer and supporter of Motoclimb, obviously. Been with us since the beginning, but like, if this was a concept that worked, there's really no reason for Motoclimb and something like this to coexist either. So it could almost take that place. And there's a lot of other conversations, obviously, to go along with that. But just kind of shooting from the hip, I mean, it wouldn't change a lot in that aspect either. If I can kind of just bump Motoclimb out and bring everybody together type thing too.
And this is the other thing too. I'm just spitballing here. Everybody listen, don't throw your phone at me, okay? I'm spitballing here. But let's just say Goldilocks, that we get Carrie from the west, we get Rob from the east, we get Motoclimb, Matt, Jay, Mike, all you guys, and then Don and the BMC and Rockwell, and we get everybody together, right? And we say, all right, here's the deal. We're 4 organizations. We all freaking love dirt bikes. We all love climbing hills. Raise your hand, right? We're all there. Now, we want to do this. We want to have this national series where it goes, maybe at first, because you can't have a 13 race. Maybe everybody says, all right, we're not going to take from Devils and have just they don't get just the national championship. We're not going to take from Washington. We're going to unite these series, and as a series, we're going to come together, and Washington, the American Hillclimb West is going to say Washington is our representative. Motoclimb could say Fordville is going to be our representative. Just kidding. Brickmine is our representative. The East could say, White Rose or Freemansburg or they could take one hill, and Rockwell could say the Big Sky. And now you got one hill from each series. You got a 4-race series across the country, and that would be your national. Your American Hillclimb National Championship Series at first would just be 4 races, one highlighted race from each regional series, and that motherfucker is going to get blown the F up, right? Yep. Like it is, when that sumbitch comes into town, it's Barnum and Bailey comes to town. It's a big freaking deal, like that could be one way, a small way to work towards this, right?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, it's like that'd be a great way to introduce it for the first season.
Oh my God. No, I did not have a good idea.
Someone delete it.
What happened? What's going on? Thanks for taking those pain pills, Logan. Wow. I can't believe I just got that.
This is a perfect example why you don't mix beer and pain pills, right?
But, I've often thought, right now with American Hillclimb, Washington, they're all great venues, and please don't distract from that at all. But the Devil's Staircase is a freaking animal, right? Mm-hmm. That hill climb is like nothing I've ever been to. They kill it. Jay, you got to agree. That place is just, it knows what it's doing. It puts on a freaking show, right? And having American Hillclimb involved, that is the spot to have that championship. But it takes away from, if Washington wants to have it, now they want to have it. Well, this way, you could still have that, but you could also give it to the others. So Washington could have their glory, Devils could have their glory, the Brickmine could have their glory, and if Rockwell wanted to be part of the fun, they could make the Big Sky their hill, and this is just something, it could be pretty freaking cool.
Just to take a step back here about Jay's good point with Motoclimb too, and how you'd essentially just be creating a different Motoclimb. That's like, in a way, it's following the goal of Motoclimb and just adding in good things of every other series. Like, we need the media that Motoclimb does, because it's 100,000+ followers on Instagram, hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube. I mean, that's stuff. I mean, great YouTube recaps, great cycle news write-ups after all the events. We need that type of stuff to help legitimize and push the sport forward. Then you get the epic venues and sanctioning precedents and prestige that AMA West has by adding in AMA, or that American Hillclimb has by adding in American Hillclimb East and West. And you get a couple freaking awesome promoters and awesome hills from it. And then you sprinkle in the unbelievable support from the riders that Rockwell has. There's amateur races, GNCCs are hardly doing the entry numbers that Rockwell is in a weekend. It's like, right, if you could find a way to combine all 4 of those series and keep the people happy that need to be happy, you have something that you can actually go and push and promote to sponsors and let AMA promote and say, you know what, we've got unbelievable rider entries. We have unbelievable talent and depth of talent. We have unbelievable venues. And to top it off, we have unbelievable media starting out from ground zero. But there's hours and hours and hundreds of conversations that have to happen to make that all work.
Yeah. And I feel like right now, everybody has different thoughts about our sport. But here's what I've been hearing is like here we've had a couple, let's say regional events like our own climb, Logan, very down on entries, a bummer, right?
Yep.
And you're like, dang it. And then you hear about our local amateur race at Red Wing down on entries, right? It's like, dang it. But then you hear about the amateur national championships this weekend, damn near record entries, right?
I'm 99% sure those are record entries.
That's awesome. That is freaking awesome. That is if you will, a national series. They're amateur riders coming from damn near all over the country, right? That's awesome. And then the freaking Great American. I mean, damn near record entries there. Our sport is super strong right now. We have a lot of interest and a lot of riders, and we know the fans will gobble it up if you give it to them, right? So it's like stuff like this is important to keep pushing us forward. Is like you do, Jay. Your event every year as a rider, I'm so excited because there's going to be something new. I can't believe the stress you put on yourself because how the hell are you going to beat fast time explosions? I don't know if you might have went as far as you could go, but I mean, that's what we need. That's what people live for,
Sure. And I mean, there's always, I still got, I got some things in the bank for next year already and already thinking about it too. So I think that's to continue evolving is important and not just be stagnant and just keep doing things the way they've always been done. And I think that kind of ties in well with this conversation too. And I mean, there's a lot of stubbornness, I feel like, and ego involved with some series and promoters, and like just me being involved with the club I'm involved in and being a part of the Motoclimb Super Series. Like the way I would look at this is if this were to ever happen, sure, there's maybe things that we would want to come out of it or see, but maybe others wouldn't. And that's fine. We'd be, I can't 100% speak for our club, but like, I'm pretty confident in saying that we would be willing to sacrifice on some things as a club to help make something like this happen. And it would just be nice to hopefully get that same kind of sentiment from the other venues and clubs that would be involved in it as well. And not take anything to heart about like, maybe if your event's not included for a year or something like that, don't get upset about it and start causing more issues in division and stuff like that too. So, I mean, we'd welcome riders from all around the country. I mean, we'd welcome a different format if it was what helped grow the sport and make things better. We believe in the Motoclimb format now, but that's not to say it's right for everybody either. So just to keep an open mind and be open to new ideas. I think there's a lot of people in the sport that need to work on that a little bit.
So that's what we should probably should have started this entire episode out with, was one massive disclaimer that nobody is speaking for anybody. This is all just opinion, discussion. You're not speaking as part of Motoclimb. I'm not speaking part of anybody or Bay City or anything.
I'm speaking for all fat vet riders. That's okay. I will speak
you can do
for all
that.
fat
You can do
riders.
that. And then I think I should probably start this whole presentation out with rule 1. Everybody will compromise and everybody will have to give up one thing they like and probably take on one thing they dislike in order to work this out, because there is no chance everyone or everybody is going to leave happy and getting exactly what they want. But they do say that's the good sign of a good negotiation is that nobody leaves happy.
I mean, and if we're all dreaming here too, a dream is to make something really special where everybody, the riders, the promoters, we all want to be involved in it, right? That would benefit from everybody. Like if Freemansburg, if this was going on right now, and American Hillclimb East got to choose so many venues a year to be a part of it, Freemansburg would not leave that bottom unkempt, right? Mm-hmm. They would rent a skid steer because they wouldn't get a chance not doing some little things because they know they have a world-class venue, but they got to do all the little things to make part of it. And without yelling at somebody or looking down, they would do more, hopefully, because they would want to be a part of it and they would want to bring that to the show, right? Like I think that's where, when it was cool, like I thought it was really smart of American Hillclimb last year when they had all the promoters come be a part of the national championship at the Devil's Staircase. Those promoters got to see what's possible. Like that's an ocean of freaking people there. Everybody's happy. The fans are happy. The club's happy. The riders are happy. I mean, that's how you win as a promoter, is having successful events like that. And I thought that was so cool that they showed people, but they don't F around either. It's professional. That event is professionally ran, professionally set up. Like when you pull in, it feels like a professional event, you know? So I thought that's what we're going for, you know?
We cannot move on right now. Just imagine mid-September, night race national at White Rose. You've got an open class of 25 to 30 people of Jake Anstead, Petey Krunich, Logan Mead, John Wolfson, Jake and Ryan Raza, JFK.
Oh my God.
All of those guys. You think you've seen a good night race.
Oh my God.
You haven't seen shit until you see something like that.
That would
especially
be freaking
two races
epic.
from the end of the championship.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
I start tingling. I mean, just thinking of all those guys at night at White Rose throwing the F down, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be epic. The talent. And I've got to see it in my involvement going east from when I started going out to the last year I was there. There's 10 heavy hitters, right? That were in the East, that everybody's competing, pushing each other to be faster, stronger, better. The show, you could feel it. You could see it.
Yep.
It was there, the fans. And that's how they're able to get these fans to come back and back, is having that high level talent. And if you could bring a lineup like that, oh man, that would be amazing.
Yep.
It's kind of fun when you can advertise that there's going to be people from Canada, from California, from North Dakota, Wisconsin, coming to Pennsylvania, right? Like that. People are like, holy crap, they're coming. I mean, that's special. Like you just don't see that. So that's something to advertise there, you know?
For sure. I think just as a part of a promoting group too, like being comfortable enough and confident enough to, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm not scared of trying something new or trying a different format, or like, we're not bringing, you can't speak for this on the East Coast, maybe, but the West Coast and Midwest, like we're not bringing in big crowds. So like, what do we have to lose at this point by trying something new? Like maybe something good comes out of it. If something good doesn't come out of it, then you can go back to the way that you've been doing it for 100 years. Like it's I feel like just keep open mind, like just give things a chance, and maybe it doesn't work, but if you just keep things stagnant and the same forever, like don't expect anything different than what it's been. And I guess if you're content with that, that's fine. But it's been talked about and beat to death about something changing in the Hillclimb, Motoclimb world, and like keep throwing shit at the wall till something sticks, I guess, right?
Yeah. I think, Jay, you're proof positive, and your club, Eagle Ridge, all your members that work, you're proof positive that hard work solves every problem, right? Like you guys say, we're not pulling big numbers in. You guys are constantly upping the purse, right? Like you don't have 4,500 spectators coming into Brick Mine, yet you're improving the purse. The club is over donating in. The riders, Jay, I can't tell you how many riders like, holy F, what I got for racing there. That means when they say that to me, they're going to more events. They're putting more money into their equipment, to their gear, to their tents, to everything. Like it's grassroots, right? Like, but as a promoter, by giving these big purses and giving the money to the riders that are achieving their goals, that comes right back into our series. And I mean, dozens, Jay, of riders are just, they're so thankful. And I know that not everybody gets your ear, but it's just really special what you guys have done as a club, how you've been able to put these huge purses, put it right back to the people. And you're not just paying one person. It's lots of people through the weekend are making money. I think we had said before, Thomas Jolly made more at Fordville than he did winning the entire French series. He made more at Fordville, Jay. I mean, that is awesome. That is so freaking cool, dude. And it just means so much to all the riders. But that's what's possible. You guys work your ass off. It's not by accident. You're out there pounding the streets every week, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's what, 100% without the spectators. I mean, we just have to rely on sponsorships, and we've been fortunate enough, and we've received great local support, and we keep getting people that keep coming back year after year. And um, I don't know why that's not doable everywhere, to be honest with you. If you put in a little bit of effort and not scared to knock on some doors, make some phone calls, send some emails, things like that. Like I believe every promoter could be bringing in just as much sponsorship money as we are with a little bit of effort. So it's not like we're not like setting the world on fire. Like we could put in more effort than we do, but everybody's busy enough, obviously, with everyday lives the way it is too. So it is a little bit of a challenge. But like once you have that base built, then I mean, it takes a bit to get there, obviously, but once you have that base built, then it becomes easier too, because you just you don't get them all back every year. And some years you pick up new ones, and some drops them off. But like you just can remain consistent, and it's not the same amount of effort year after year as it was to begin out to get just things started. So,
but it's been really cool too how the people that you've got sponsorship. I think it was Express Employment was your title sponsor, and through Motoclimb Super Series and their great social presence, I knew immediately who they were, and they came to my pit at Fordville. I thanked them for their support. They were awesome people that are involved in the sport themselves, and your sponsors that you give money to, they get a lot of visual representation through social media from what you guys do, being tied with Motoclimb, the riders, yourself, everybody reposting stuff, putting it out there. It works, right? Like that's marketing. That's how it works. Like I see Logan run those little shorty freaking levers online. I want to buy them. You know, it's like, it's no different with you guys. It works. That kind of marketing works every time.
definitely, I think like just don't go ask somebody for money and then never talk to them again. I mean, show them that you can, or at least try to provide them with some sort of value, or ask what you can do to give them more value if they're not content with what they're beginning, things like that. So it's like, it is for sure work, but at the end of the day, like imagine what our events would be without that. We would have a lot of resources to work with. I mean, our payout would be not even close to where it is now. So rider experience wouldn't be as good, things like that. Our events just wouldn't be where we want them to be. So like we just do have to do that. And I think that's a missed opportunity by a lot of promoters, especially if they're already struggling to meet purses and things like that, is definitely just look locally, and there's probably a lot more people willing to support than you'd ever think. So
yeah. Jake, can you hang on for just a little bit more? I think let's take a little bit break, and then let's come back and let's talk about maybe like the travel aspect, maybe scheduling, stuff like that. And let's try to put some more keys to the puzzle in our minds together. But if you just hang on for 1 second, I think it's Off Graphic this week. Luke, is that our sponsor? Is that was it Off Graphic? I can't remember the title sponsor this week.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, all right. Well, listen and see who's on the commercial.
Against the Grain Design and Print is proud to announce its partnership with Find the Line. Against the Grain works with clients to build their business and racing goals through the design and production of premium stickers and decals. We offer one-of-a-kind subscriptions for a flat monthly fee that can save you hundreds of dollars. Custom mailers, white label printing, motocross graphics, and anything else you can think of, we have you covered. It's time to print your passion. Visit atgdesign.co or email sales@atgdesign.co.
Hey there, Find the Line listeners. We will always be looking for partnerships for Find the Line. Please email findthelinepod@gmail.com to see how we can work together to grow your brand. Once again, that's findthelinepod@gmail.com. Now, let's get back to it.
Woo! Oh, Off Graphic. I mean, ATG Design crushing it as always. We're back. Had the best show ever in the green room. And man, we forgot about some stuff, and we hit a big one. We forgot about the disclaimer, okay? You look at the schedule, there's a couple glaring misses, and people are probably saying, hey, there's no Great American on the proposed schedule. And that's because not going to mess with the Great American, right, Logan? That's too big of a event to touch, right?
You don't fuck with tradition, Joel. Right?
I love it.
It's like I had to tell Cody on a road trip from California when we passed 15 In-N-Outs. You just got to go to this one.
It's Sparks, Nevada or nothing. It don't matter if we got gas 10 minutes before it. We're stopping in Sparks, Nevada. That's tradition. I love it.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. I love it. So that's why Great American's that's not on your proposed schedule. It's just too big of an event, and it doesn't need the cachet of this national series. But the Big Sky, that's got everything. It's got almost as much as the Great American, and then that club wouldn't dull the star of their highlight of their year by going to the Big Sky. And we could involve the BMC, which is Mecca, right?
Yeah, and the nice thing on top of it too is late July, early August is generally a pretty slow part of the summer for professional hill climb racing too. So you're not going to be overlapping. Everybody and their brother knows not to overlap the Great American.
Right. So that's one thing. The other thing we just want to talk about is we're hoping everybody is listening. And when we're just talking about this stuff, especially people, Rob Redmond, Kerry Peterson, Matt Musgrove, Don Earhart, a lot of the big players on the 4 Series. Obviously, Jay, you're on here representing your club and everybody. But just understand that maybe some of these things you might perceive as negative. They're not. They're not negative. What they are is that we have seen all the good things. We've seen all these unbelievably epic moments, events, everything. We got to see at the Devil's Staircase last year, just unbelievable talent. We want more. We want more. We want the best. We want to build upon what all these great men have donated and women have donated so much time, so much effort to keep this sport alive for, what is it? What's the Great American? How many years is it?
107 this year.
107 years. It's been people like Jay that have pushed this series or not series, but the sport for so long. And that's where, please don't perceive it as negative. We are trying to find all the positive stuff, and we want more. We want to have as much of the best as we can.
And just to round that comment off, we want people to get out of the sport what they're putting into it also. Because right now it's uneven that way. You don't, not necessarily always, but some people don't get out of it what they're putting into it. And we want that. I mean, my goal is to get that for everybody. Get a promoter making a ton of money to do whatever the hell they want with, or buy the land that they're racing on, or a racer to be able to afford to buy a new 450 every couple of years, or pay heavy wrenching to build them a new open bike, or do whatever. That's what ultimately that's the goal of this whole thing, is to help offset and kind of meet in the middle of what you're putting into it and what you're getting out of it.
Right. And then also one other thing for those listening, if someone's going to say, hey, send this clip to somebody, listen at 17 minutes and 37 seconds for Joel being a complete douche. Hey, also make them listen to the next 5 minutes after the break so they can understand where our motivations are. Okay.
They can listen to you continue being a douche.
Well said. This is a big one too. We talked about in the break. Luke, do you got a bell, like a ring bell that we could ring, like ding, ding? Because I think we got to go in the squared circle here, and we're going to talk about extensions versus non-extensions. And during the break, we found out that our very own Madman 390J, you're a big no extensions proponent.
Yeah, I am. I just originally when the idea was brought up, I was against it. I think like most people are. But just having an open mind and like watching it play out and see how it worked, and being a rider myself and being able to experience it, like I see the value in it as a rider. I see the value in it as from a promoter standpoint, from a marketing standpoint for the sport, getting new riders involved. Like I just see way more benefits to it than I see negative. Like we've proven that you don't need extensions. We've done it for the last 3 years. Like you can summit the Brick Mine without extensions. You can summit pretty much any hill without extensions. Yes, you do need to maybe lay the hills out a little bit differently. But yeah, no, I think every event should have a stock class. That's kind of where I'm at. And I honestly used to hate the stock class. I thought it was dumb. I was like, why would I race a stock class? I got extensions on my bike. Like, I just want to do
Mm-hmm.
this extended. But I think it's like I'm not the best rider in the world, but I've progressed my riding. I've become more comfortable. Like I'm confident in my abilities. Like I ride a stock bike 100% the rest of the time when I'm not competing at a motoclimb. So it's like, why am I against riding one at a motoclimb? Like it doesn't make sense. Like
Logan, I'm leaning over the ropes. I'm looking for you to tag me in. Can I get tagged in? Logan, can you tag me in? All right, I'm coming in. All right, okay. I'm gonna make a list of statements with no point. Okay, so I agree. I was against it at first, and my original statement is I am not for it, but I'll support it, right? Because I don't know. I'm not the future. I'm not the future of the sport. I'm barely the past, right? But going and actually racing the stock bikes now, I can see the people that have the talent to do it. There's not many, right? And even the people that have the talent, I don't think it's exciting. I mean, I think that there's moments in the side by side where it can be, right? And I definitely feel there's a place for it, but where I want our sport is the East Coast version of the 4-hour spectacle, and I don't think it's a part of that. All right, he's tagging in Jay. Jay's got his arm. Luke, tag in Jay. Jay's got his arm and he wants to come in. Ding, ding. All right, Jay's back in.
No, I just have one minor comment to like what you just said. Like the term side by side, I think we need to get that out of our sport altogether.
Yes.
Just for the fact of for the average person, like as big as the side by side market has become, like that's actually confusing terminology to use.
It's so
And I think
confusing.
like people have actually been confused about it, like on past podcast episodes and things like that. Like I know now it's like ingrained in people's heads and I see it too, but it's like there's got to be a better way to describe side by side racing,
head to head racing, or
I don't know. I just had to throw that out there. So
no, that's a good point, and I think that it's good for people getting involved. I definitely think that having the stock classes without a kill switch, it's we saw it's got Josh Toth, it's got lots of really talented riders to come be very minimal aspect to be a part of the race and race for a big purse, right? And I mean, I thought at the Brick Mine especially, I was shocked how well you guys did on stock length bikes at the Brick Mine. Sir, the same aspect, I did not like it at Bay City, how it just, I don't know. I just don't think Bay City had the layout or the hill for it. But once again, at all those, the singular racing was not exciting. The head-to-head racing, I thought there's moments of it where the crowd could cheer for one or another. And I just think it should be a very small part of the show because the noise and the speed are what people come for. Our fan base, I believe, is people that go to NHRA drag races, people that go to rock and roll concerts, people that want to be scared. They want to see something that's crazy. That's what we offer in certain levels of our sport. And I just don't know if that's it, you know?
Yeah, I think for sure, no matter what, the 450 and the X-Climb have to be a more minimal part of the show because that's not what people come to see. That's not what they get excited to see when they're walking the pits. It's just not what Hillclimb is, bottom line. But the benefit of running a stock one is it gets these high-level guys to at least try it out for a day if they feel like it. I mean, we saw Brody O'Connor come. He's a local A-class Minnesota motocross guy at Bay City, and he was one of the most fun guys to watch on a stock bike because he was flying, he was doing jumps nobody expected, the corner speed was cool, and I guarantee you he would not have showed up if he needed a kill switch and extensions on his bike in the 450 class to compete, which, you know, you can go back and forth on that a little bit, but we haven't seen people like that come in unless they're, you know, given a bike and whatnot. So the main goal of this 450 is to keep the barrier to entry of the sport low which is what you need to help grow it. But at the same minute, if you keep the barrier to entry too low, you have too many people joining, and then the show can get boring too. So you have to walk a really fine line in there. And I don't personally know what the answer is. I've said it many times. I don't 100% agree with stock. I don't like racing it, but I completely agree with the reason Matt has chosen to go that way, and the benefit that I've seen it. I've personally watched it bring in at multiple events.
And I feel like the stock class, it could grow a sport. I just don't know if it grows my sport. And my sport is open bikes. Like that's all I freaking care about is open bikes. I don't really care about anything else but open bikes. That's my sport. And I would, if I had one vote and it was stock length extended or kill the 450, I'd kill the 450. It means nothing to me because as part of the show, I just know nobody cares about it. When I'm in the pit, nobody's like, oh my God, what 450 do you got? I've never heard that. Nobody gives a shit about my 450. Everybody wants to know what the bottle's for on Snowflake. Why is there freaking screws in the tire? And why is there a chain wrapped around that wheel? That's what people come to look at and see. Not, oh, that's a Mueller built 450. That's got to be one of the most special 450s in the world. It is. Nobody gives a shit, right? Except for when you ride it.
Well, and the funny thing is they still all think that any 450 you see on the TV at a motocross on Saturday is way faster than ours. That's completely false. But people don't care, like you say. But you just want to go full French on us, huh?
I do. Yeah. I think,
not a bad plan.
5 rides, 1 class. Let God separate the weak ones, right? Like, let's just go, like that show they put on there, there's no lack of energy. There's no lack of lull. It's entertainment from start to finish. There's no lull times. There's not an hour where you got to go mill around. It is constant. Oh my God, there's Johan. Oh my God, there's Thomas. It's constant all day long. And they don't have 200 open bikes. They're racing 50 to 60 open bikes, which is way more than we have. But it's, I don't know. I just think that's the recipe or something like it,
There's a good debate for that.
Yeah. We went way off topic.
An idea for Motoclimb was presented to me, and I won't say what it is, but like there's conversations behind the scenes, and like more open bike time was part of that conversation. So like we're looking at ways maybe to do something there to kind of do what you're talking about, get more open bike rides and not so many of the small bikes. So I don't know if anything will come of it or not, but there's conversations happening. So.
And that's what I feel bad about with a lot of spectators that I've seen. I mean, I've seen this, more than a handful of times where a spectator comes, they get to walk around the pits, see all the open bikes and whatnot, and then they have to leave in 3 hours, and all they get to watch is 450s and 700s go up the hill. And they're like, well, shit. Now they're not going to come back because they didn't get pulled in by the draw that is open class. So I don't know if some of that has to do with formatting, or do you just, there's 100 different ways you can figure out what you want to do there. But it sucks. We get spectators. We had spectators at Bay City that came from Salt Lake City and had a flight home. And I know for a fact they didn't get to watch open bikes, and they probably won't be back to Hillclimb again because of that. Wow. If they did, might be a different story.
Yeah. No, and I people that watch Supercross, right? They know 450s, they know 250s, right? I don't know if that's our exact fan base. I just don't think it is. I think more of our fan base is people that, like the guy that and Carnegie, that he rides an effing Buell, right? It's like if you have your inline J and a street bike and you see that it's going to compete going on dirt wheels, that's going to intrigue you. It's like road bike people are a big part of our local fan base. When you're at Devils, it's half freaking street bike people there. They want to see Josh Mueller's Harley and all these other power plants that they can associate to, So I think let's go to our fan base and expand from there instead of trying to reach a fan base that doesn't give a shit about us.
This might be a newsflash to some hill climbers out there too, but
Oh God.
we ain't shit when it comes to riding a 450 up a hill, down a return trail on a track. We are fucking nobody.
Right.
We
Yes.
suck. We're slow. We look like fools.
Yeah.
We can't do it.
Right.
I have a great story from one of the spring races I did this year, but there's one thing that hill climbers can do, and that's ride an open bike really damn well.
Yes.
And a hell of a lot better than any of those guys can ride 450s.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Agreed.
Not always, but it's like this story I've told is I went to a GP this spring and a couple of fast local motocross guys raced it, and they started a minute behind me in the A class, and they passed me less than halfway through the race and smoked me. And then they went to the combine at Redbud and got like last and second to last.
Oh man.
It's like, wow, I'm nobody. It's just a good, humble reminder that, a guy who shows up to a hill climb and seeing me ride a 450 is nothing special or nothing new. They can go and watch something on TV that looks 10 times cooler.
Right.
But they can't go and turn on the TV and watch a Buell or a CBR or a FZ09 or a 1190 race on dirt like we are.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I think like that, if everybody, it seems pretty universally agreed that open bikes are the show, and like I haven't heard many people argue that. So that idea in itself actually supports the stock bike argument, because why are you pumping all this money into your 450 and putting extensions on it? That's money that could be going into your open bike, making it better. Maybe you update it more often. You just don't have as many mods you got to make to that stock bike. Like, So to me, those kind of go hand in hand. So you're looking at also like you would just align with the manufacturers and hopefully getting some sort of manufacturer support. And I mean, Matt has had conversations with the head people at KTM making those decisions, and they see more value in a short wheelbase bike than they do in a long wheelbase bike. So, yeah, why people want to keep dumping 20 grand plus into their 450s and lengthening them out, I guess, is beyond me at this point. But what do I know? So,
no, you're right on there. I'm sick of spending the money on the 450s is not fun. And now I'm at a point where if I want to continue to compete well in Motoclimb, I almost need another separate 450 that isn't as aggressive as my AMA one or my extended one. And it's like, oh my God, how many freaking Hillclimb bikes do I need?
Yeah.
It's insanity. But, like you're talking about with manufacturer support, which is really the number one reason. Number one and number two is manufacturer support and cost of entry or barrier to entry of the sport. Matt showed me an email from a person at a manufacturer, and he asked about contingency at the Motoclimb Super Series. And the next response was, sorry, we're full and don't have any room for this year with the other series we're supporting. Matt's response was, what would get you, something along the lines of what would entice them to do it? Or how could we get you to look at us? And his response was basically something that is set up as a manufacturer, as a bike off the showroom floor in its stock form. And this is straight from an off-road manager at one of the big four Japanese brands. So it's like, how do you argue that it's not saying it's what's best for our sport, but it does provide the attraction that an OEM needs to jump in.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of different arguments with that. Like all you ever hear is how the OEMs don't give enough money to the actual sports that make money, right?
Right.
So do we chase after them if the sports that already received most of their money aren't happy with the amount of money that they get? Or do we chase after Jack Link's beef jerky because they might think it's freaking cool to have the Sasquatch go up the hill on a Buell, right?
We go full Frenchy on them, open class only.
Right. I don't know. Like, let's be realistic. Like, we're never going to have contracts like Supercross or even, hard enduro pride for that matter. It's like, but what does our sport offer? And it's not that bike. That's not our sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what people come to see. It's like I agree with the things that you said, Jay, and I think that I had fun riding the stock bike, but then also when you're just talking about pure hill climbing and not entertainment value or anything else, put some freaking sticks on a Mueller built 450 and go to the big sky. If you don't freaking smiling ear to ear, you're something wrong with you, right? I mean, it's just awesome, right? But entertaining, no. Fun to ride, hell yeah, and that's where I just look at our sport for fans. It has to be entertaining, right? We've already seen what our sport can do, rider supported. I want fan supported sport, and that's where I think it all comes down to the open class. So I probably got to get asked out of the squared circle on this stock versus extended, Jay, because when it comes right down to it, I don't give a shit, right? I don't care if you're right or Logan's right or Luke or me. I just don't care about any of the subject. I just want, now if we're talking stock open bikes, you got my attention. If we're going to go 66 Pro altered open bikes, now it's a different, I'm tagging back in. Okay.
Yeah, that's the man's class right there.
That's the man's class.
It's just while you're talking about how certain guys don't get the money they deserve, I pulled up these interesting stats from the U.S. Hard Enduro season this year. They've had 2,500 entries. They're a little over halfway through their full schedule and almost at the end of their premier one. So somewhere in between. 2,500 entries, 14 different manufacturers. Let's see here. 19.6 million Instagram views, 5.9 million Facebook views, 6 million YouTube impressions. These just go on and on and on. And the guy getting 5th to 10th, most of them aren't making a living racing motorcycles. So if there's any type of entitlement or attitude that hill climbers deserve more or we should do better, blah, 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 it's like, look at those stats and ask yourself why we deserve more than what you may or may not get just as an individual or as a series or anything. And it's like, that's why kind of what's driven me to put this kind of effort into making some sort of series that can hopefully fall in line and get that. Because once you start getting that type of impressions, you've got real options for support and sponsorship and money and contingency, all that type of stuff.
I feel like with this podcast and your involvement, one of the big soapbox things that you've kept pressing upon people is for the amount of talent and the amount of effort and the amount of money that goes into racing professional hill climb. The payback is so much more than any other two-wheeled sport.
It's unreal.
Right.
Unreal.
Like you were just saying, that guy that got 5th to 10th, he probably has a guaranteed $1,500 per event bill in fixing shit, right?
And
if he had the best race of his life.
Yeah. And over the 10 premier rounds or whatever it is, he's probably spent 50 hours racing on his bike.
Wow.
50 hours racing just from green flag to checkered flag.
Jesus.
Or roughly that in that area.
It's probably more than one motorcycle for a season.
I wouldn't be surprised. So, I mean,
that's a lot of money.
We're extremely fortunate to have the setup that we can. But like Jay says, if you don't try to improve and move forward, you just fall behind.
Right. Okay. Well,
yeah. And I think I don't know if there is a right answer to the stock versus extended. I like to still ride an extended bike too, but if it seems like most people can agree, the extended bike's not doing a lot for our sport, then what's the purpose of it? Why are we putting all this money and spending all this time on it if it's not exciting? If that's not exciting, stock's not exciting. I guess just once again, what do you have to lose? Keep an open mind, try it. I could say right now, if this series was ever to come to fruition, and it was the stock versus extended debate, at the end of the day, I would have no problem going back to extended to make this happen for the sport. But that would be one of the issues where I would like to see maybe people looking from the outside and think about it a little bit more and maybe try to make some compromise. We certainly would compromise on our end if need be to make it happen. I just hopefully other people can kind of look at themselves in the mirror and reflect a little bit and stay the same.
I feel like it's only fair to call it a draw on this match right now. And I think we just need to push on to a different topic. And it's just not right that we have this squared circle event without Matt. Because I feel like Matt would totally climb all 3 ropes and shine that elbow up and bring it straight down on me.
You'd feel it through the screen.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. So we gotta table this. Maybe we can get Jay and Matt back. And then we'll come back and tag back in, tag back out on the extended versus stock. But great points, Jay. And I think all good information, right?
It's a great debate, whichever side you're on.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing we got to talk about. So in this American Hillclimb National Championship Series, right? Like the whole idea that you've kind of been brainstorming, schedule and travel, right? Like, those are big things in our sport. Obviously, travel's the one thing that keeps a lot of people, like we were talking before, never seen, and I could be wrong, but I don't think JFK has ever went to Carnegie. I could be wrong, maybe he has. And I don't think John Wolfson's ever been at Freemansburg, right? So, this is a problem because those are 2 marquee level talents that we want at both of those events. So when you talk schedule, when you talk travel, what do you think that this format could help?
Yes. So first and foremost, I don't ever want to hear anybody say they can't do it because we did the full series in 2018, 2 trips to Carnegie, over half of the AMA East, all of Naha, and all of Motoclimb. I think all of Rockwell too. I did that on 10 days of PTO, working 5 days a week.
Jesus
and Joel did it too.
I don't. I feel like it's not. I can't take credit. I didn't do all of it, but
anybody that says they can't, you're lying. So let's get that off the table.
Let's get off the table. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
It is possible. It's just not pleasant all the time.
You're not stopping at the Texas Roadhouse for supper. I'm going to put it that much. You are eating and driving. That's what you're doing.
And you aren't leaving Wednesday morning for a race that starts Saturday night. I promise that.
Side note, is there anything more depressing that when you're in Wisconsin or you're in North Dakota and you check your Instagram on Wednesday and you already see tents set up in California and you still have to work a 10-hour day before you
2 days.
Jay, am I wrong? Or 2 days? Am I wrong? Is that so depressing?
You are not wrong. Yes, it is depressing.
Does that make you put a fuel pod, a 500-gallon fuel pod in the back of your big Chevy and head? I still can't believe you did that. That was insane. The good old days.
Right. Needed. Yeah, I still got it.
No,
my
we've
favorite.
That.
My favorite part when you guys had Jay, his brother, and your wife went to California, and is it a 500-gallon? Is that what that is?
Yeah, 330, I think.
330?
Yeah, not quite 500.
Like those big square pallet thing. That was their Augs tank in the back of the truck. And my favorite thing when we were talking to you is you couldn't decide if it was better or worse because who had the CDL with the hazard license? Was that you?
Yeah, I got the CDL with the hazmat or whatever. So I'm licensed to drive like a big fuel tanker truck, so I should know all the regulations and things. But yeah.
You were trying to
You should know better to not do what you're doing, but at least you're doing it certified and safely.
Yeah, because I want to say the minimum is like, or once you're over like 120 gallons or something, it's like, yeah, and I'm sure that container is not approved for fuel either. I mean, it's for like ag chemicals or whatever, and
right.
Things like with water, stuff like that. So
I love it.
Luckily, we didn't find out.
This didn't happen. We're just pretending it did.
Yeah.
Logan, Jay, his wife and brother embodied there's no can't in doing it, right? They just
exactly.
did it.
Yeah. We can respect it.
Respect it for sure.
Yeah. So anyways, in case anybody didn't catch it, when we first talked about the schedule, it's basically all laid out and you pick your premier events and in order traveling one direction. So you're not bouncing generally one direction. So you're not bouncing back and forth. So like right now, if you follow the planned schedule from 2025, what I'd be doing, it's from California to Minnesota to Washington, back to or no, maybe I'm trying to think here exactly. I can't follow the map because it's so confusing. But either way, Washington back to Montana, Idaho, North Dakota.
The current format to what we're doing right now.
And then Midwest, back out to Idaho, back to the Central, and then out east, where you condense these, pick your national championship series events. You start out west in Carnegie, go to Washington, Montana, Idaho, North Dakota, Midwest, and then finish the season off on the east. So this helps a little bit because all of the West Coast guys have low travel in the spring, and the East Coast guys have heavy travel in the spring, and then vice versa towards the end of the season. So if you work a little bit and with promoters and other racers, it makes it very possible to actually travel these races. So, say you go to Carnegie and race Saturday, Sunday. Do you spend Monday and drive up to Washington and then fly home? From there, leave your stuff at the venue or find a racer's house or something like that. Fly home up until the next race and then fly back out and then travel. You have a lot of options if you just are willing to plan and help schedule and organize with something of this. You kind of get into talking about the J bus for those who are familiar with what is it, the Dirty Fuel podcast or something?
Nitro and Mud. That's
the one. Yeah.
Nitro and Mud.
Yeah.
With our three friends, Cowboy, Ryan Wyatt, and Nitro Pilot.
Yeah. No, we love them.
Yeah, we do.
Just some fake beef.
Yeah. Luke wants us to have beef. Sorry, Luke. I can't do it. I love those guys too much.
But like Jay had mentioned, you do a little bit of planning up ahead and find a couple of guys that can haul 3 sets of bikes. The fuel's cheap. Flights in advance are maybe a little bit of a hassle, but relatively cheap and easy. And then you only have to do that for half the season. It's pretty feasible for somebody in California, Idaho, Washington area to drive to California, up to Washington, to Montana and Idaho. That's a pretty low travel schedule. And then you hit the 2 in the Midwest in the summer that are a little bit tougher. And then obviously the East Coast. But the nice thing about the East Coast is you have 3 races in 4 weeks. So you're flying in and out. You're not gone from your equipment real long. Flights are pretty cheap from the East Coast to get where you got to go. So it really, with a little bit of planning and scheduling, it works out pretty easily. And you just have to be willing to put in that effort. And unfortunately, something like this, you're not just going to be able to decide week of that you're going to go most of the time. But there's at least some options out there because we know, obviously, Jay, terribly, it's hard to get people to travel to your event no matter where they're from.
And this is how professional series are organized, right? This is how Supercross does it. This is how NHRA does it. Like, they don't have a race in New Hampshire, and then the next weekend they're in California, and then they're in Michigan, and then they're in Texas. Yep. They do that they can to organize so that people don't have to travel as much, right? I mean, you look at right now, there's team functions in our business right now where a guy like Dave Perigo, he could look at this and be like, well, hell, here's my summer planned out. I'm going to retire and I'm going to start in California. I'm going to end in frickin' Pennsylvania. This is frickin' epic. It's like, I'll head home when I can. Otherwise I'm going to enjoy this great country that we call home. It's like it would make it a lot easier, Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think I'm an outlier here, but when it hits the Midwest swing and somebody needs to park a camper at my house and borrow my car to the airport or needs a ride from the airport or to the airport, I can name 5 people right now that will help them any time of day or park something, drive them somewhere, anything.
Yes. And I mean, that's just people that Hillclimb. The funnest thing about this sport is the more you do it, the more friends you got all over. I mean, Jay in North Dakota, I feel like I got family in freaking North Dakota. You guys are so welcoming. When we go to Carnegie or Washington or even Idaho or Pennsylvania, like the White Rose Motorcycle Club, the Bushkill Valley, everybody, we all want the same thing. Everybody kind of pulls together, and this would be another availability. I mean, Chance Jarvis, we parked your van there at his house at Billings years ago and flew back and forth. Right? I mean,
I messaged them and asked because Logan Mead had done it, and they were happy as hell to help me out. I mean, they were thrilled, and I made my life awesome and easy. I got to travel for cheap, race an extra event that I didn't plan to. I mean, all that. It's like everyone is willing to help. You just have to ask sometimes.
We're a big family. We're a big family spread wide, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think that would be a huge aspect of, because we have to make things economical for the teams and the riders, right?
Yeah.
And I think like thoughts like this, like, let's be honest, most people aren't by themselves. Most people have an uncle, a dad, a mother, a sister that's helping them do this, right? Like, making the travel easier, making these things happen, that's how you get more involvement, right? So
Yep.
the more effort we can put in to making the schedule more conducive to lining things up, the better it'll be, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's worked out good for us too. If you got races that are back to back and they're in the same general area, maybe you just make a vacation out of it once a year or something. You know, it's like we've done that in the past and been a lot of fun too.
Yeah. Oh. Another thing I wanted to talk about that wasn't in your proposal, but we actually were talking about in the green room, and you know, it's important to all of us to have a visual presence on social, on all forums, right? And I mean, what about if we had the American Hillclimb National Championship Series where we dedicate a budget out of the purse. We say, all right, 5% out of every purse, however it's derived, is going to go to supporting media advocates. So we're going to actually hire people to deliver, assist. Somebody like Colby, who, when it was with American Hillclimb, was so instrumental into making our sport look so extremely professional. And that money needs to come from somewhere. You need a budget for that. And to ask each individual promoter, it's tough. That is so tough to have an individual promoter support a series where this series could bring with it its own media cachet and have a budget provided by however the purse is derived, whether it's crowd, rider, whatever the final thing is, and you take a small portion of that and that goes right to that. What do we think about that?
I'll let Jay take it away.
Jay, you think that's a good idea?
I think that'd be super important. I mean, that's somewhat how Motoclimb has done it up to this point. I guess outside of this year, we kind of stepped back on the media side a little bit, but like Motoclimb has always funded the media recaps and things like that. I mean, Colby definitely took a little bit further with some of the stuff that he did, and some of his edits are still probably some of the coolest ones out there for sure. And I mean, he was, I guess, doing it for nothing or next to nothing. So like, I think that's kind of an overlooked, very important part of it. If if the sport ever gets to that next level, for sure.
Yeah, it's something where if we're all chipping in a little bit, I think everybody, if you're upfront about it and you said, hey, we can't do 100% payback out of the rider entries, we're going to do 95% or 93% or whatever you decide on. If someone's got to complain about that, then they don't need to be a part of the series because that money is going to benefit every single rider, right? So I feel like as riders, myself as a rider, like I'd be more than happy to do that. And I got to think that it would be a majority of the people that would be all before that. Jay, at your event, I still can't get over at the Brick Mine how you guys free of charge had that PDF download of every ride at the Brick Mine. That was extremely generous and epic. So cool seeing that where not everybody's got a family member there to video them or whatever, and you had every ride available to the riders. That was awesome. But that takes a whole one person their entire day, not to mention to download everything. There's a lot of time and energy and effort that went into that. And I don't know if that should be put upon the club to do. I feel like some series support should come through with that. You know, eventually if the American Hillclimb National Championship Series actually had title sponsorship, that's where we would funnel it from. But to get there, we might have to take a little bit out of the purse. But man, Jay, have you had much impact from that when you guys were when you reeled that out?
Yeah, I guess I mean it doesn't get utilized as much as I would like to see it get utilized, but like it seems like kind of the few days after the event to a week after, people will post a few videos and stuff, but there's still like majority of people just are not active with that sort of stuff, which I guess is fine if they're not concerned about it, but it's like it would be nice. And I think if more people started to do it and kind of made it normalized, I think maybe a lot of people just they don't even know what to do with it type thing too. So like if it was normalized and it was always made available for every event, things like that, I think it would eventually provide more value than it does with just us doing it as kind of a one-off case for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No, I
you
think
just never know what's going to explode and bring tons of attention either. It's like, it's just, social media is just crazy. It might be the weirdest, most boring ride you've ever seen, and it'll just explode and bring opportunities and attention. And
I mean, that was like nephew Cody's nose bonk ride last year. Like, I honestly posted it. I thought I never thought it was going to get 2 million views, and like, it was mostly like just entertaining. Like, it wasn't maybe providing the value we want for Motoclimb, but like, it still like had a lot of people get eyes on it. And like, I saw at one point, like, my nephew thought it was pretty cool. Like Hunter Lawrence had liked it or whatever. So it's like, wow, you're getting like a top level guy. He's now seeing like somebody climb the brick mine, whether it was a goon ride or not. Like, so it's like people all over the world are seeing that, and that can't be a bad thing at the end of the day. So
that's
exactly.
Huge. Wow. Amazing.
It's like that dumb video that I posted of me breaking that wooden ramp. It's like I posted all these videos of a winning run on a Buell and gets like 2,000 views, and then the stupid 2-foot tall ramp on a CRF 150 gets 100,000. It's just like, it makes no sense. But
well, you better get back. Better go grab that hammer and saw and start building some more shitty ramps, Tom. Oh man.
But that's even like the case too. So like the I mean, don't want to beat this, but like the stock versus extended or 450 versus open bike, like sometimes the open bike video gets posted and it doesn't get much for views, and then just a generic like extended 450 or stock bike ride gets posted and that goes like viral. It's super weird how that can work in the social media world for sure.
Yeah. I don't understand the algorithms and stuff. I don't think anybody does. I mean, otherwise it would be automatic what you got to do. So all I know is, besides all that aspect, I know when I'm standing there what's exciting, right? And you can hear it. Like we were talking before, referencing White Rose. I've been there and heard the frickin' crowd boo, and I've been there and heard the crowd frickin' cheer, right? And it's like when you get 3,000 people doing both of those, you're doing something right. I mean, that is that's entertainment at its best. When you can just get everybody cheering or everybody swearing, right? Like something's going right, you know?
Yep.
Oh man. Well, this has been really fun, Jay. We can't thank you enough for your time and just for listen to Logan's little dream here that he's got constructed. And we hope that more comes of this. We definitely got to come back stock versus extended. And we're hoping that this episode can spur some questions and comments, and for people to add their 2 cents into what they'd like to see for a national championship series. I mean, there could be an idea out there that Logan hasn't thought of. I mean, let's face it, he's probably thought of it, but he just didn't write it down, right? But we just want all that, because we all want the same thing. We want the absolute best out of our sport. We want to be able to showcase the things that we know people want to see, and we want to hear people's input on these topics. So,
and one more real quick one.
Yeah.
Do we have, as a promoter and one of the best ones to do it, Jay, can you think of a major negative or positive for adopting some type of series like this as a promoter in general? It doesn't have to be anything specific to you guys or any series, or just something that could be bad or good for a promoter, for in case one ends up listening to this whole episode all the way through and is still worried.
Honestly, no, like, I'm comfortable with where we're at and like the show we can put on. And I think this could, something like this could just add to it. Like, whether stock extended, open bikes, not open bikes, like whatever you want to do, like, let's just do it. Let's bring everybody together. Let's make it happen and try it. The only thing is, looking at the front page of this, I'll sign tomorrow if you can make this change, but it has to be American Motoclimb National Championship Series.
I'll make that change right now, because American Motoclimb.
Hey, we're signed up. Let's go.
It's a perfect meet in the middle compromise right on page
We'll
one.
go back to extensions tomorrow to make that change. Let's do business.
I think when this originally started, it was American Motoclimb because it was a great blend of both of them. So, all right, I'll update that. Don't worry.
All right, that sounds good. I got a message from our French friends, and they would like, if this happens, for the Brick Mine to be the French liaison, where there's French talent inputted into the middle of the series at the Brick Mine. They all want to come back.
Awesome. Yeah, no, we'd love to have him back too. It would be hopefully give him a little better North Dakota experience next time with better travel and stuff like that, and get to spend a little more time and see what it's all about. So.
One more quick thing. Did you hear Tristan say that he heard the boom on the return trail?
Yeah, I did. That's awesome.
So cool.
I didn't even think of that. Like that didn't even come to mind when I originally thought of the idea. But I mean, that's just one more cool reason to have it, because especially with our long return trail and stuff, like you got a long time before you know if you threw down a good ride or not. So you can know within that 10, 15 seconds or whatever. That's pretty cool.
That's sick. So
then you're probably going to get on it a little bit more coming down too. So you have a little bit more fun coming down. It's all good.
Funnest return trail in the game. That's so epic. Even the Frenchies were talking about how fun it was. Unless you got a Dominator. The Dominator takes some of the fun out of it. If you just got a plain Dominator on.
I had more recommendations to put some timers on it, so I'm still always brainstorming on what we can do with that. But I don't know. It's a pretty complex solution, I think. So
that will hurt somebody. You will have ambulance runs on the return trail if you put timers on there. He's already changed it. Oh man, he already changed it.
It's updated.
It's updated. All right.
American
Motoclimb. I'll just get the rest of the promoters on board. We're good to go. Go back to extensions called American Motoclimb. We're good.
Oh, that's great.
We found his weak point and we shot.
I bet you they won't though. Challenge all the other promoters to keep an open mind and make some compromise.
Yeah. This isn't the
That's
first.
a good challenge.
This won't be the last, but I love how we're just already compromising. Look at that. We're bending. Yeah. We're
My hope for this is we get a bunch of big players messaging and wanting another episode on this, and we can keep discussing it further. And we actually are surprised by the outcomes of this initial conversation.
That'd be sick.
Keep my fingers crossed.
That'd be sick. Well, I'm just glad that we got this one with our Eagle Ridge representative. That was awesome. We started where the iron's hot, right? So I like it. This is good. We're sorry we already took up.
Hopefully I gave some decent feedback or ideas or gave some people some things to think about anyway. It was a new concept to me too. But yeah, that's any good ideas got to start somewhere. So this is a starting point, and I mean, a lot can be changed or critiqued or whatever, but you got to put it out there in order to make something happen for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, boys. I feel like we've massaged it enough tonight. What do you say we call her?
I think so.
All right, Jay, get back.
Anything caught in their chain?
Oh man. Or impromptu caught in your chain. I don't know.
Smooth and bam, it hits. Something in your sprocket throwing fits. A pebble, a problem, some petty pain. Time to sound off what's caught in your chain.
We're going to have a different sounder just for driving things caught in your chain, Luke, because it's the more I travel in Minneapolis, St. Paul, the more I'm reminded how much I hate traveling in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yep.
It's awful.
I'm curious if Jay has something since he brought it up.
Yeah. Do you have something, Jay?
I really don't. I just thought of it now. But I mean, I have plenty of things that bother me, but nothing's bothering me at this moment, but I certainly could throw something out if you want me to.
I put something on Instagram a few days ago, and it was this philosopher guy, and he was like, if somebody does something in traffic that really bothers you and upsets you, have bigger problems. I saw that. You will never actually have real problems. If you get upset about this, I can't remember how he said it, but just today I was getting fumed with somebody, and I'm just like, nope. Not going to let it bother me. I got bigger problems than this. This isn't a problem. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let it bother me. It's like you just can't let dumb people affect your life, right?
Yeah, I saw that too. And it's super true though. Like if you,
Yeah.
it's hard to do, obviously easier said than done, but like if you could do it like and focus that energy on other things, like you'd be so
Yes.
much more productive.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah,
no, God.
for sure.
I
And
fight
I'm
that battle every
just
day.
probably more guilty than the others. Like I get pissed off about a lot of stuff, but like
Yeah.
super passionate, competitive, and like just kind of try hold myself to somewhat of a high standard anyway too. So, but yeah.
I feel like we're set up for disaster when every day we go drive in traffic and we have raced for a good part of our lives. And yet we're with people that can barely drive the vehicle that they're operating, right? It's like, if you want me to show you how to do something, I will, but I'm not going to, right?
Exactly. I think I've ruffled enough. I've got a good one, but I'm going to have to postpone it till next week. So I'm pretty confident I've got enough people wound up for this week.
I had on yours with the e-bike that you had a few weeks ago about how you just told people to fuck off about the e-bikes. We were sitting at Lunds and Byerly's. I took the boys out for lunch today, and you know, you go to lunch, eat, and then we all went on our phone for a few minutes, right? Some old dude walked by. Oh, nobody's going to talk to each other anymore. And I was almost like, hey, bud, what's your email? Because I couldn't think of a good response. Or I could just be like, I'm going to email you my response later today. And I'm going to really put you in your fucking spot, old man. But instead, I just said, oh, we talked to each other all day. This is our break. And the old bastard, you know, oh, damn it.
I guess because I had to do it today, but Kirschbaum's kind of stuck in my chain right now. No, he left on a Sturgis trip and texts me after he's already gone and asks if I can check on his cats today because they might be out of food.
Oh, come on.
And he left the day before and comes back the Saturday after that. So who's going and buying fucking cat food and going to Jake's house to check on his cats? I go there and the bowl of water is dangerously low. I think there's like 18 kibble bits left in the food bowl.
No. Oh, man. You saved those cats' lives.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh.
But,
well, you're a good cat, uncle.
Yeah. He knew I'd do it, so that's why he postponed it.
Yeah. He's probably got a few of those in the closet for you. I'm sure he's saved your butt a few times.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well worth it, but it made me laugh.
Oh, that's great. Oh, poor. I gotta think being Jake's cat's a tough life, right? Like
I would think so.
I'm guessing 5 lives go right off the shelf immediately when he adopts you, right? Like that's just like you're down to 3 whether you like it or not, right?
When the Frenchies were here, Jake was showing them their cats, and he had just got one neutered. And this thing, as in Jake's own words, dude, you got to see this beanbag. It's huge. and the first thing Segi says when he sees it is, oh, big balls, big balls. So now I just call his cat Big Balls. It's got a new name.
I got to learn how to speak French just so I can have that conversation with French to Saggy.
It's so good.
Oh, man. Nothing will beat when you guys went to the strip club and you got Jake's telling him how that he never goes there, right? You tell the story.
We get there and Jake's like, oh, I never go here. It's like 3 times ever. And he gets out of the van and instantly one of the girls recognizes him and starts yelling his name. So the next night when we're out to eat, Thomas was telling Joel about it and he goes, yeah, when we get there, Jake say he never go. But we get out of the van and everybody there say, hey, Jake. Hey, Jake.
I laughed so hard. Oh, that's so perfect. Oh, man.
Everybody there knows Jake.
Yeah. You got to meet Logan's friend, Jake, Jay. He is one of a kind. He's the heart 10 times the size of any other human, but how he's alive, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never met him in person, but I feel like just from like the videos and stuff I've seen, I feel like I kind of already know who he is. Just
oh man.
Did you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you know his first ever hill climb was Fordville?
No, I didn't.
He came with me and Luke and Dad one year. One of the first years that we came back. He rode his stock KTM 125.
I had
didn't
no
make
idea.
it very far, but
That's funny. Yeah,
it was like 2013, 2012, 2014, somewhere in there. But yeah,
has he done any since?
A couple, like just one or two, I think. He did Red Wing when they had a semi-pro. And then I thought he did one recently. Maybe not. But a couple.
If he just put a little effort in, he'd be really good.
Yeah.
Didn't he win your bike?
No, he got second.
Oh, that's what we. I just remember something about that. So he won cash or something like that.
Yeah. He was supposed to, but it was good. That would have looked dangerously bad for me if he won.
Oh, the bike goes to Morgan Cipala and the cash to Jake Kirschbaum. That don't have a good sting to it, does it?
No, that would have been bad.
I was just curious if he did win it, like what was left of it at this point. Or what?
Probably not much.
Yeah.
He'd probably be underwater in the river or stuck in a mountain. Who knows? On the roof of his shed.
Yeah. It'd make it into a log splitter. All right, we're getting way off. Boys, let's get the hell out of here. Jay, thank you. Thanks for everything you do in this sport. Thanks for your time tonight. Can't wait to talk to you again, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll get you through this so-called life.